Welcome to the Creative Visionaries podcast. My name is Tori Barker, a digital marketing specialist, business owner, mom, and you guessed it, a creative visionary. This podcast is about inspiring business owners, building connections, sharing success stories, and motivating others. Join me on this journey as we tap into your true potential and unleash your inner visionary. Hello. Welcome back to the Creative Visionaries podcast. Today, I have a very exciting guest, somebody that is going to rock our world. Chris Williams is the founder of Group Coach Nation. He is an expert in masterminds and group coaching. Chris, take it away, my friend.
Okay, Tori, I'm so excited to be here. I love being introduced as a very exciting person because, oh my gosh, I am so not exciting. I wish I was more exciting, right? I do love like cracking the code on things and hacking our way through like real business problems. So let's rock and roll.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with like the obvious question. For those who have thought about it, wondered what this is, what exactly is a mastermind or group coaching program?
Okay,
Start with the
so
basics.
let's go basic then. And there's two kinds of you folks out there listening. By the way, isn't Tori great? Like you found your person. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Tori, for having us all here. I really appreciate it. So two kinds of us out here in this world. Those of us who like are thinking, do I need to be in a mastermind or a group coaching program or maybe even hire a coach? And then there's the other half that's like, I want to be the person who's leading the mastermind or group coaching program or coaching, whatever.
For sure.
Both of those are really relevant conversations because I think, like most things, it's important, Tori, for us to like, we kind of learn who we want to be by being on the other side of the table sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like everybody who's ever gone through therapy, I've been through a lot of therapy. Everybody's ever gone through a lot of therapy. Like at some point in your therapy journey, everybody's like, I want to be a therapist.
I got this down. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And then fortunately, most of us don't become therapists because we'd ruin people. But yeah, it's like, yeah. So, all right, let's define this. A group coaching program or mastermind. So there's like levels of service out there, right? So we either do work, us or our companies does work for somebody. It's a done for you service. Okay. Right. Let's use a house cleaning service for this example.
Sure.
So there's a house cleaning person. They might have 15 houses they clean on a regular basis, or it could be a huge company like Mary Maids and they have thousands. Okay. That is a done for you service. Call them up. I need this office space or house cleaned, whatever. Cool. Then there's the done with you service where it's, hey, I just need a little support. My back's bad. I can't vacuum anymore, but I got the dusting,
Yeah.
Okay, done with you. All right. Then there's the coaching. All right. The coaching space is where somebody comes and teaches you how to do something. Like you might have a professional cleaner come in and teach you how to like professionally clean your own house. That's actually a real service. Cool.
Who knew?
Yeah. Like organizers. Some people do the organizing in your closet. Yes. Some people teach you how to organize, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then that's coaching. So we got the done for you or done with you types where the work getting done. Right. Then we got the coaching. You still got to do it, but you're learning how to do it right.
Yeah.
And then we have this whole group coaching world where you show up at a place and this professional house cleaner or organizer has all of you in and you all basically sit down and talk about, okay, here's what I'm trying to organize. My closet. Great. Everybody bring pictures of your closet. Walk me through a little video. Let's talk about this. And together you collectively learn not just how to clean your closet or organize it, but you have aha moments, not just from the teacher, but then so-and-so's like, oh my gosh, I just went to IKEA and got this whole system. Like, oh my gosh, I want one of those too. And you're like, oh, and then this person like used this certain color wall paint behind their clothes because it made the light shine through better and they could actually match and connect colors better.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's not just what you're learning from one person. It's a collective experience. And here's the magic, Tori. As a student or as a leader, the truth of this is we as humans transform 5 times faster. It's actually more than 5 times, but 5 times some change faster and retain that knowledge forever when we learn and execute in group settings.
Interesting.
We are genetically predisposed to survive better in groups. And that plays out in education, therapy, business, you name it. Groups work for humans. So if you're a coach or consultant and you haven't done groups, go build a group. because you will change people's lives faster and it's more profitable, it's more scalable, all those cool things. If you're
Yeah.
learning and want to take on information, find someone who's teaching that in a group setting, very hands-on group setting, because you'll get it and change and actually retain it.
So, group setting, I know our world is kind of different now, but I mean, ideally, I would assume it'd be in person. But are there also virtual settings that still are, you know, applicable and transformative for the
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, I think we've all figured out Zoom by now. The globe got forced to Zoom for a while there, and I think that was really helpful for the coaching, consulting, information teaching type person
Yeah.
because, like, I lead 2 masterminds a week in my own community, Group Coach Nation, and Tori, both of those masterminds are weekly led on Zoom, and then twice a year we actually get together face to face.
Yeah.
But we just started going back to face because people, are different in their own spots or countries or whatever their regional requirements are.
Yeah.
And we learned that actually the face to face thing is kind of a personality thing. If that's
Hmm.
who you are as a leader, do face to face. If you're like Zoom is cool, let's go, then do
Yeah.
Zoom. It doesn't
That's
matter.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zoom has really opened up the reach, right? So not only like regionally that you can help people or connect with people, but like internationally, it's just so much has changed and given us so much more space to grow because of that. So I love that's an option, and still, I love the mixture, right? The virtual and then the in person, because it's like you kind of build a relationship online and you're talking, you're getting familiar with each other, and for those people who may be a little shy or introverted, when it comes to personal, in-person meetings, they kind of have this like, okay, well, I've warmed up to these people and now I see them in person. It's not like a blind date, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for
I
real.
love I love that that's a thing. So yeah, for sure. Okay.
Mm.
So now you talked about house cleaning and organizing, which is, seems to be an odd industry or service that could be a group coaching, but it seems to work, right?
It
So,
works. Yeah.
but is there a specific area or like industry or service that works best, or have that you've seen has been like super, phenomenal in this space?
Yeah, so let's talk about what works best from a client transformation standpoint, and then works best for like how easy is it to market or sell it, right?
Yeah.
Those are two different things, but they're both really important to understand. So something like organizing closets, or Jill and I have 5 kids. All right, on our first kid, I remember going. This is a few years ago. I remember going to like talk about a personal one-on-one situation, right? You don't want a class full of people when you're delivering a baby, and yet they're freaking doing stretching, breathing, yoga classes together, right? So there's a lot of the education around the labor, delivery, pregnancy part that can be put into a group setting and
Yeah.
actually is really healthy that way. So it's interesting, no matter how personal or unique the thing seems to be in our human experience, we still do better when we gravitate to a group. And yeah, you can separate a few things out like, okay, it's 2 in the morning, we're having a kid, don't want to show up with 30 people. I get that, right? Okay. So let's talk about what works best. Anything can be done in a group setting, and particularly when it's where people have to like either build relationships and and I really mean that both, because the relationships in a mastermind are so important,
Yeah.
or they're trying to crack the code on something in life. If it's health, relationships, wealth, building a business, doing something in their personal life, planning vacations, figuring out somebody who just went through our program in Group Coach Nation, they're teaching a mastermind to upcoming or recent retirees
Oh.
who are trying to figure out, how do we like plan our retirement? I don't mean the like savings and investing part. I mean, like, this is about to change your life. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Um, Brilliant idea. We have one that taught something on empty nesters. Hey, you're 2 years away from all your kids going to college. We got you. It's going to change your life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get divorced right then. So let's figure out how to like sort this out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people teach marketing or business or sales skills, or like personal fitness or health or mindset or dating or relationships. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
People do well in groups. Now here's the marketing and sales side of this. It is just super easy to talk about this from a marketing standpoint. There's kind of three categories of things we all sell. Everybody, you guys watching in, all fans of Tori, you sell something. That's business, right? So you're selling either money or how to get money. It might be a more efficient way. It might be a way to market or sell or whatever, a
Yeah.
software that helps create more money for your sales team, whatever. You're selling money or you're selling health. It could be physical fitness. It could be a supplement. It could be a diet vegetable book. It could be a mindset stuff. It could be therapy. You're selling health
Yeah.
or you're selling relationships.
Hmm.
The travel industry is technically selling relationships. Look at any travel commercial you see pop up on VRBO or Airbnb. Those pop up on my YouTube feed a lot because we do a lot of Airbnb, I guess. It's never some person going on a trip and being just stark, cold, lonely.
Hmm.
It's always with their pet or
Hmm.
with their family or with their friend. They're
Yeah.
selling relationships. So we all fall into one of those categories. Now, the easiest thing to sell is money because I can put a price on how much you will make. And if the price you're going to pay gets you a return in a reasonable amount of time plus some, why would you not do it?
Right.
It's a little harder to sell health and relationships. And ironically, though, Tori, right? You and I both know that health and relationships, we everybody at the second half of their life, everybody says, you'll be so glad you took care of yourself and you took care of your loved ones.
Right.
No, you know, only the complete we're gonna keep this a non-explicit episode. Only the complete booties of the world say stuff like, yeah, I just wanted more money.
Yeah.
F the kids, you know? Nobody wants to hang out with that person. Yeah.
No.
So it's ironic though, it's easier to sell money though, because we all know intuitively what we really want is the happiness that comes
Yeah.
from relationships, for instance, you know?
Interesting mindset shift there, right?
Yeah, but it's actually harder to market and sell health and relationships
Yeah.
because it's
I
just more nuanced. Yeah.
Right. I think that it's less tangible, right? Like, with health and relationships, it's how do you quantify it, right? How do you say that you're more healthy? I mean, numbers, pounds, inches, whatever it might be, but still, money is a dollar amount, right? Like
Yeah.
I made X dollar amount.
Yeah.
So
You know,
I
this
can see
like
that.
better health, we hear better health advertising podcasts all the time now. You know that like I love that. Like, yay, get healthy people. If you don't have a therapist yet, go get one.
Yeah.
Um, let's just call it what it is. We all got crap in our lives, folks. Let's just be honest about it. Get healthy, get happy.
This is where
Um,
we insert the therapist ad.
I wish I had a link for better health or whatever. Better health. Yeah, better health. Anyway, but I think it's cool that they're marketing so much because it is a harder thing to sell. But our culture is shifting in a really healthy way where health and relationships are something we're all a little more open about at a party or out with friends playing games. Like, oh, I'm going to a therapist now. I'm so excited about this. You can actually say that and then not
Yeah.
be like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did you hear them? They're going to therapy?
Right. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question structure wise. If when we're talking about, masterminds, how do you best structure a mastermind to give your group or your audience the most for, what you're providing? Is there like a formula that works like weekly calls, bi-weekly calls, homework? What does that look like that you see to be the best and most return on investment and, uh, return for your group that you're coaching and
Yeah.
such?
There is a formula for this. And it's kind of super easy and yet a little nuanced. So first up, anytime anybody is creating an offer or a process, a done for you service or teaching coaching like a mastermind,
Yeah.
always do that in a community. That is, by the way, why Group Coach Nation is built around a mastermind model. We actually put you in a mastermind to teach you how to build a mastermind. Now, Yeah, no, very, very meta. Can we say meta?
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, I think, made that a dirty word. It's very circular. Yeah. Um, it's such a great word. So it's very circular. But here's the thing. If you're going to create an offer or figure out what's going to work best for your community, what the price should be, what you're going to include, all that kind of stuff, you cannot do that alone. And you really can't do that watching an e-course. You need to be able to show up and say, does this resonate with you guys? Because
Yeah.
that's really all that matters. Does it mean something to somebody else? Okay. Here's the simple formula. Picture a yardstick. All right. We got 3 feet on this yardstick. There's 3 major foot markers, right? 2 in the middle, 1 and 2, and there's
Yeah.
0 and 3 on the ends. Now, 0 is a very like quick, I need to introduce Tori, you to a friend of mine who can help you with XYZ. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an email I can send, a 3-way email that technically we could call that a mastermind. I put 3 of us together and we talked for a few sentences about cracking a code and you got some help.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Then there's the other extreme down on the 3 end of the yardstick, 3 feet away. And that's a lot more like, okay, we have a long process. It's going to take us a year to figure this out together. And we're going to meet every week and go through lots of steps. Okay.
Mhm.
One is very hyper relational. I just need to make an introduction. The other is very hyper tactical.
Mhm.
Okay. The formula here is somewhere on this scale. The more tactical the thing is that you want to teach someone or a group of people, typically the longer it has to be or more sessions it has to be. It's just how much can you teach?
Right.
The more relational, the fewer sessions, fewer times you need to meet. I'm in 2 masterminds right now, Tori. I'm typically in 1 or 2 masterminds a year as a student, as a participant. It's so nice to be in a group you don't have to lead. It really is.
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah, you and
Sit
I both.
back and listen and learn and contribute and
Yep,
not worry about,
not worry about
technical
it.
issues.
Yeah, I don't have to remember to hit record on Zoom.
Yeah.
Um, you and I are. You and I both know a couple of names you mentioned earlier. I'll name drop. Let's just rock and roll. I'm going to name drop one name here. Tori and I both know a guy named Alex Sanfilippo. Alex Sanfilippo owns a company called Podmatch, Pod Pros. You've probably heard of Podmatch, everybody. If you're in the hosting or guesting game in podcasting, Alex Sanfilippo is it. He is like king of the world.
Yeah.
So Podmatch is where you meet all the host and guests. Cool little service. Go Google it. Actually, send me a message because I want to give you my affiliate link. No, just go Google it. Sign up for Podmatch. It's worth it. Now, we both know that guy. I'm in Alex's elite mastermind.
Mhm.
Alex has put together a group of like industry leaders in the info sharing space. Most
Yeah.
of us have podcasts. And that meets once a month with everybody in that group. And it's a small, well-curated group. There's nothing he's teaching us because we're all leaders in our own spaces. He's just simply putting us in a room together to say, hey guys, what's going on now? How are we going to crack these codes together and really impact a lot more people?
Yeah.
And who can we help where? It's so powerful.
Hmm.
That's a once a month meeting, very relational, doesn't require, it's at the 0 end of the yardstick. It's like a 1. We meet once a month, it's ongoing, there's no real end time to it, but it's very effective relationally. Then I'm in another mastermind, Tori, that's teaching me and my team some stuff about like scalable marketing in the e-course, like pre-recorded e-course, e-learning type business model. That's not my gig. That one meets twice a week. It's 4 freaking hours per Zoom call twice a week that one of my team
Wow.
members is like diving in on. There's tons of tutorials and helpful stuff, and it goes on forever.
Yeah.
And very tactical though. So does that help you with like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So there's, it sounds like there's a range, right? You can have both or each or something kind of in the middle, right? So that depending on what your audience needs or is, telling you that the need is out there, you can fulfill it in one of 2 ways, right? Highly
Yeah.
relational, highly tactical, or somewhere in the middle.
And my mastermind is a good example of a middle. So we're around the 18-inch mark in the yardstick example. We're like, we let 15 people at a time into the group that I teach. Alex was in my mastermind like a year ago. We let 15 people at a time in there. they're all like, we really careful about who we pick to put in there.
Uh-huh.
And because we want those relationships to like change each other's lives. And yet we're also teaching everyone how to build a high ticket group coaching program or mastermind. So it's very structured week by week by week by week, but it's also very intentionally connecting to the other relationships in the room, because we're going to show you how to make a mastermind and crush it in like 90 days. You're going to have a mastermind. But it's the relationships in that room that we know 3 years from now, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
person changed my life 5 times over, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're talking about this, I'm thinking about that role of the leader for the mastermind, and for me, like a common thread within my core values and my business is really leadership.
Mm.
And that to me, that role is very leadership driven, right? Whether it's connections for relationship, leadership on, a service that or problem to solve, right? Something
Yeah.
that you need to do. So I love that idea. And, for me personally, I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, so when do I know the right time to start this mastermind? Like me, I'm a visionary, right? Creative visionary. I've always got these big ideas in my head, and I feel like I've got like so many balls in the air at one time, right? So how do you know which one to grab and when to put that into action?
Oh, Tori, like, okay, everybody listening
I'm
in. Yeah.
juggling here,
Now you're
right?
just listening to Tori and I talk about masterminds. Okay. So just pull up a chair, grab a seat
This
at
is
the
the
table.
inside conversation, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's been dying to hear.
This is the real deal. All right. Tori, you are truly a genius at marketing companies. You know what you're doing. You work as a chief marketing officer in a fractional setting for companies. Like, you're legit. You're the real deal. It takes three qualities to be a good mastermind leader, to do it successfully. One, you got to be an expert. Oh my gosh, everybody listening to you right now knows that's done. Think about this, guys. If Tori had a mastermind and she was just like, okay, I'm taking 15 people, I'm going to change you how to market your company and change it forever. And the boss can come in, and a key executor, implementer in the company can come in, and we're going to teach you guys everything you need to do and go do it. We're going to support you for a year. Like, what the heck? That'd be amazing. So you got to be an expert. That's you. You got to be a great communicator, because you're leading a group.
Right.
Well,
I
none
don't
of us are
know.
here because Tori sucks at communicating. We all like watching you on screen and hearing you talk. Okay. Number
Oh,
three,
shucks.
number three, you have to be a natural giver. You actually have to like enjoy investing in other humans. If you hate that, you're going to hate any kind of coaching, right? But if you actually like seeing people like say, oh my gosh, I got it, then you like building a mastermind. If you're that person, and we all know you, Tori, you are, then you'd have an amazing mastermind. The next trick is just, and it's the practical one. How do I fill it? What's the offer look like? And how do I deliver it in a way that actually changes people's lives and gives them 10 times more than what they paid to be in there?
Yeah. And what I'm hearing from you too, another issue that it solves is, for me, I'm like, how do I give on a larger scale, right? So it's like there's only one of me. How do I help more people? And so for me, that's like the struggle that I always feel like, oh, I have so much to give, I have so much knowledge to share, but I can only help one person at a time, right? So that's where it's like this to me is like light bulb kind of, in the background. I'm thinking like, okay, this gives me the opportunity and the platform to help multiple people
Mm-hmm.
at one time, where it's not just me, right? Like, sure, I'm an expert in marketing, but like you said, the group that you bring together, they're also experts in their own industry, and it builds relationships, which I think are, even far more important than, some things is the
Yeah.
relationship, right? Because one person can help, the other, and so on. But yeah, so I'm very intrigued and
Mm-hmm.
interested
You
in
need to
this
have a
concept.
Yeah, you need to have a mastermind. It's, you know, Tori, your progression is the same as mine, and so many people I know in this mastermind space, it's the same as theirs. It's a done for you service, and everybody listening, and you'll probably follow this track as well. Some of you in your own career path, It's a done for you service where you're doing the work for other people. Then you become a coach consultant of some sort, or in Tori's case, she's a fractional chief marketing officer. That's the same exact path I went down. And then that's a huge step up. And the clients you work with, you really change your life. But you run into this thing of, okay, I get it, but no matter how much I charge, no matter how cool the client is, no matter how much I want to help everybody, I'm still limited by a number of hours.
Yeah.
And so the next thing is always, how do I scale this?
Yeah.
And people go one of two directions. They go down the low ticket offer, like the beginning of the value ladder and selling ebooks and videos and e-courses. Absolutely the wrong place to go from that juncture where you're at. Or they go and continue that professional executive level expertise thing and just simply convert to a scalable chief marketing officer in your case.
Yeah.
You're just scaling that model. And then you can backtrack and sell low ticket once you get your first couple of groups going.
I love that. I've heard that explained before too, the ladder, right? Where you start at the top and then you work your way down because it's, it's just as hard to sell a high ticket offer as it is the low ticket offer. So why not start at the top and help more people
Yep.
in that
And it's
space as well?
expensive and time consuming to build and sell a low ticket offer.
True.
So go get paid well, put some money in the bank, and then you can hire someone else to do a low ticket stuff for you. Because it's not, you don't go pay $500, watch an e-course and learn how to sell an online course, folks. It just simply doesn't work that way.
Yeah. There's so much more to it and so many more steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of steps, lots of software. Oh my gosh.
Well, I feel like, we can have this conversation for days and just, let people be a fly on the wall listening to our conversation as we just chat and, figure it all out together. But I want to be respectful of people's time and your time, of course. And so I have one final question that I want to ask you. So, what was one of the best pieces of advice that you've received in your career so far?
That's a really good question. By the way, folks, when I do these shows, I never know what the questions are going to be. Tori was like going to tell me earlier. I was like, don't tell me. I don't want to know. That's a fun question. Here's the best piece of advice that I've ever received in my business career. Let's just isolate it to business career.
Yeah.
I'd say 15 years ago, I was still working at a insurance agency, like insurance, selling high ticket financial products. I don't know, 17 years ago, something like that. And then we ended up leaving that company and starting our own wealth management firm. Then I sold that in 2011. Okay. While I was still working for another firm, we hired a consultant, a coach to come in and help us figure out like building our book of business. This applies to every freaking thing I've ever done. I took this guy to lunch. It cost me $2,500 to have this consultant. I was like, that was the first time I ever hired somebody like this. I took him to lunch. I had to pay for his salad too. I paid $2,500 for lunch and I still had to pay for his salad. And he was like, tell me about your business. So I was telling him, we got all of our clients by referrals. We were doing really good work, very good relational work, very good execution. And I was like, dude, we're set. Like, I get referrals all the time. He's like, cool. How many referrals are you getting 2 months from now? I was like, I don't know, but I'm sure it'll work out. And he said, Chris, if you don't have a way to predictably generate on profile leads, you don't have a business. You're just getting effing lucky. That's literally what he said. I'll say it again. Chris, if you don't have a way, you listener right now, if you don't have a way, friends of Tori right now, if you don't have a way, just gut check yourself, look in the mirror, be honest. If you don't have a way to predictably generate on profile leads today, you don't have a business. You're just getting lucky. Yeah. And he said, Chris, pretend you're building a garden and you have this spigot on the wall, you got this hose and a sprinkler down at the other end, and you got to water that's the leads, right? He said, if you literally don't have a spigot installed in your business that you can turn on or off, you're hoping it rains. And so far it's rained enough for you.
But the rain is going to stop at some point.
Yeah, global warming's coming. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the best advice I've ever had. And since then, I've dedicated everything we do to predictably generating on-profile leads.
That is so profound and so on point, because it's true. And a lot of people say do business by referrals, which obviously I think referrals are the best, but
Yeah.
you need to have some other way of generating business because of that, global warming problem that may may arise where the rain doesn't come, right? And so,
Yeah.
having that predictable lead is, I think, an integral part of any business owner's strategy for marketing and scaling their business for sure.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Thanks for asking.
Yes. Well, thank you for being on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I could just sit here and talk to you all day, but you know, this too shall end, right?
Guys, can I just say, like, I know Tori's about to ask. If you want to get in touch with me, groupcoachnation.com. All right, groupcoachnation.com. My name is Chris Williams. Google me, you'll find it. All right. But the real point here is like you're leaning in, learning from Tori. Ask her questions. Go on her website, social media platform, comments on a podcast, whatever, wherever you can, say, I heard an episode, Chris's episode, or one of the other awesome ones around mine, and say, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to market my company. I don't know how to scale and grow. I don't know how to do the stuff I need to do. Ask her questions.
Yeah.
She's here for you. You're listening because you've already found someone you trust. And that is the hardest part about taking the next step and growing your business. So ask her questions and figure out your marketing.
Let's do it. Let's go. Well, thank you again for being a guest. Phenomenal. I'm so inspired by you, and just thank you for your time, and I hope that, people who are, similar to me in this kind of, idea of mastermind group coaching will reach out to you and take that next step and connect with you for sure.
Thanks for letting me have here. I'm so glad to be here.
Thanks so much for listening to the Creative Visionaries podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, leave us a review, or share with a friend. Also, make sure to visit us online at creativevisionariespodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And stay tuned for more episodes to come. And remember, it's time to tap into your true potential and unleash your inner visionary.